Don't think about your ex. Don't think about your divorce. Don't think about your bankruptcy. You can't change it. It is gone. Thinking about it only makes you unhappy in this moment, and if you're unhappy in this moment, you can't be happy in the future. I know this isn't easy because I've been through a lot of divorces myself and bankruptcies. I mean, I joke about it because otherwise it's just too painful. But the truth is, I would lay in bed at night and I would start thinking about all the things I could have done differently, all the mistakes I made. Why did I do this? Why did I say that? What could I have done differently? And then I started to get these horrible headaches, like migraines, and I couldn't figure out what was causing it. I stopped drinking, I stopped eating certain foods, I did all the things you're supposed to do when you have migraines, and they would go away for a while, and then they'd come back again. And I finally figured out, because I was in a mastermind group at the time, I was talking to some very successful entrepreneurs, and I said, "Listen, I'm doing all these things right. What else could it be?" And he said, "Well, what do you do when you get the headaches?" And I said, "I think about my ex. I think about my divorce. I think about all the things that I've lost." And he said, "Well, that's the problem. You're holding on to those thoughts and you're trying to push them away." And so I said, "What do you suggest?" And he says, "Well, you've got to let go." He says, "You've got to forgive." And I said, "I can't forgive her. She did terrible things." And he says, "No, you don't understand what forgiveness is. Forgiveness is not about saying what she did was okay. Forgiveness is you letting go of the thought entirely." And so I went home that night and I thought about it. I visualized it. I said, what would it feel like if I let go of this entirely? And I remember the first time I did it, I laid down in bed and I closed my eyes and I thought, I release you. I forgive you. And I thought, what would it feel like if I didn't have this headache? And it was the most amazing feeling in the world. And I knew that that was the answer. So here's the deal. When you think about the past, you're in the past. When you think about the future, you're in the future. When you think about your ex, you're with your ex. When you think about your problems, you're with your problems. So what do you want to do? You want to be in the present moment. Here's a quote that I love by Leland the Vandal. He says, "We cannot change the past, but we can start where we are and move forward, looking neither back in anger nor forward in fear, but with eyes open, steady and serene, looking only at what is near."